in Wilmington, North Carolina. Good morning, Jim Ryan.
Roy Cooper is the governor of North Carolina, and that may be the greatest quote about a hurricane that I've ever heard. Don't take a chance on riding out a monster. That his plea to his constituents to evacuate this area, McGraw, and it's generally being answered in the affirmative. People packing up, they've boarded up their businesses, their homes, they've put down sandbags and headed for higher ground in the face of this storm. Landfall now expected to be sometime on Friday afternoon, McGraw.
Now, that's been a bit of a change and a bit of a shift. What happened?
Yes, I mean, the forces of nature out there have moved this thing a little to the right. They've slowed down the storm just a bit, and so the expectation now is that instead of a Thursday night, early Friday landfall, it's simply being pushed back now to the Friday afternoon. Still, the effects will be felt long before the landfall because it's such a large storm. So while it's beautiful right here in Wilmington today with blue skies, no wind at all, things will start deteriorating late tonight and into tomorrow, even 24 hours in advance of the storm.
Yesterday when we talked to you, the plan was that the eye of the storm was going to hit in Wilmington, where you are. Has that shifted at all?
It has just slightly to the south. And some models even show this thing, and I don't know how realistic it is, that the thing doesn't even quite make landfall, that instead it sort of comes in close to shore and then skirts along the coastline, which would be a terrible situation for even more people up and down the coast from Virginia down to Florida, potentially.
Because that would just stall there on the coast, and it would just create havoc over and over again. Also, talk about real quick, Jim, while we have you, that part of the country has gotten quite a bit of rain in this summer, so it's relatively well saturated, so they don't really need any more rain, and that could have a secondary effect on all this.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's already a soaked ground, and if you suddenly dump 10, 12, 15 inches of rain on it, some projections even 40 inches of rain at the height of this storm, it could be really catastrophic, create flooding here in the Fear River. It could create flooding out in South Carolina, all up and down the coast. There could be severe flooding that comes with it. I think that's really the expectation, almost a Harvey kind of situation.
Are you seeing people who are defiant and who are refusing to leave?
A few, and you'll always find that. Some people always will decide that they know better than the governor, or that they simply don't want to give up their property. They want to stay here with it, and they won't go. But, I mean, they do so at their own peril. The governor has said, look, if you decide to stay, don't expect first responders to come if you get into trouble and call 911, because they're not going to risk the lives of those police officers and firefighters.
Jim Ryan, ABC News in Wilmington, North Carolina. Be safe. We will check in tomorrow, Jim. Thanks.
Thanks.